last night. He's the living proof.
Thank you, Jesus.
My God keeps promises, and his word won't fail.
Jesus, thank you, Lord.
Oh, you always keep your word. That's what you do. That's what you do.
Yes.
Oh, you always keep your word. Yeah. That's what you do. Hey. That's what you do.
Yes, Lord.
Anybody know that he always keeps his word? That's what he does. That's what he does. Oh, you always keep your...
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for being here, Miss AKA, and anybody else who's in the bushes. Y'all just got through working out. And when I say my hair is soaking wet from sweat, oh my Lord. I was not expecting that, but I got 4 miles in today and I got a good workout in. Your girl is tired. But we're going to go ahead and get started. Please like, share, and subscribe to the video. And I've got some interesting topics that I want to discuss this morning. One will be, thank you. I'm super proud of myself because I wanted to give up halfway through, but I was like, I can do it. Me and my niece met, and hey, Shayna, there's a walking path not very far from our houses, and we're like a mile and a half apart, and we just meet in the middle and we just walk. And she's my accountability partner, and we kind of get it done. This is how I lost weight before, and this is how I'm gonna do it this time. I would look at the suntan. I was only out, I think we were out maybe a little less than 2 hours, but look at there. That's from my sports bra. Oh, I cannot believe that. Cannot believe that. I tan that easily, but child, I gotta do something to this hair because I'm tell you, being natural, and girl, when I say the sweat got me, the sweat got me. The sweat got me. So today we're gonna talk about the dead donor rule. And I'm going to explain to you some things that I found out about when it comes down to things that are going on in our world that I think everyone should be aware of. I am in the medical profession, so a lot of what I'm going to discuss today is going to be from knowledge and from what I've read about what's going on with this actual issue. The next thing I'm going to talk about, I wish it was that warm out here. And is it cold there? Because it's not burning up hot, but if you're out walking, I think let me see what the temp is here. But if you're out walking, baby, it's 79 degrees. I think it was 77 when we got there. And it was a decent walk, but of course it's humid, so we're sweating for sure. Because when I say I put up a good sweat, I got a good sweat. The whole back. You see, I got my little hair in a little knot, honey, because all this is wet. Every bit of it. This is wet. My hair is just wet. And I had it wrapped up, but I wanted to do the live, and I didn't want to be late because the key is to keep it wrapped up until it dries, and then you unwrap it. It has to be completely dry. Well, I'd have messed that up. So I'm going to have to go get a blow dryer and blow it dry, and then try to do something to it. Yeah, I'm telling you, being natural is not for the weak, especially when you start now. Highs today, 73, and lows. Oh, that's my kind of weather. That is my kind of weather. I'm that kind of person that could probably live in London where it stays naturally cool all the time. Yeah. 60s and 70s. I love springtime weather. I absolutely love it. So yeah, I could actually do that. The second thing we're going to talk about this 11-year-old girl who was pregnant and the whole little situation behind it. I don't know a lot about it. I know what I've read. And I think that it's something that we as adults need to talk about with our young people to make sure that we're keeping an eye on our babies and that we know what's going on in our household. The next thing I'm going to talk about is in the state of Texas, 800 bills went into effect on today. in the state of Texas. Ooh, honey, you can see where I put that glob of edge control, honey. I was just trying to hold this edge down. It got a whole shiner there. Yes. An 11-year-old girl in Oklahoma was pregnant, had the baby. They did a DNA test, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. And then we're going to talk about Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter and his wife welcomed in a new baby. And I thought the way that they introduced the baby to the world was beautiful. So we're going to get started. Y'all are neighbors. Yeah, y'all are pretty close together. Whew. And I tell you, I don't like outside, but I'll do anything to try to, I do what I need to do to get this weight off. But I cannot believe I got a suntan. Whew. Guess I need to put on some suntan lotion tomorrow before I go out. I had on a tank top and a sports bra. You can see where the tank top was and where the sports bra was. Ah, girl, I'm glad I didn't burn. Anywho, let's get started with what we got going on. The song that you heard was my first lady of my church. She spoke yesterday, but before she ministered, she sung that song. She has one of the most beautiful voices. She's over our praise team. I'm blessed to be able to sing alongside her and behind her, back her up. And I just thought I'll share a little snippet of what she blessed us with yesterday before she ministered to the church. Anywho, fair use disclaimer. Some material in this video is used under the U.S. copyright fair use section 107 for purposes such as commentary, criticism, news reporting, and education. Today we're going to be doing some commentary, some criticism, and we're going to report some news at the same time, along with a little education. I'm going to save the dead donor rule I'm gonna save it for last. And let's start with something a little lighthearted. I thought I brought that over here. Let me grab this real quick. Give me a second. This week I saw this on was it on Twitter? I saw it on Instagram on Travis Hunter's page. And I thought, what in the world is going on with his wife? And this is just what it showed. Him touching her belly. She has an IV and a pulse ox on. And she's laying, and obviously there's a little hump there. But of course, I still didn't know what was going on. And I dug around a little further. And I saw that they had welcomed a little baby. Let me see if I can find it. I'm going to share this with you. Fair use.
Wait, is it going?
Did it come up?
There's the baby. This was my dream that I had in February. Today is March 26th. And this was the dream I had February 28th. I knew it was going to be a boy.
Thank you, Ms. AK.
So cool. We're about to leave for Green Bay. Say hi to the baby. We're going to find out where Daddy's going to be.
And where you gonna grow up.
And where you're going to be born. Your dad got drafted.
To Dubai.
Let me see your hat.
We going to Dubai, baby. See, and then you gonna come up and you gonna be like me. You gonna get drafted from Jacksonville.
Are you excited?
Yeah,
How do you feel?
House right now.
Where they gonna live? Do you have a message for the baby?
Gotta be done with me. See you later.
Say bye-bye.
This is how big you are today. Still little.
This might be the last one.
You're gonna do the last
Before you.
before I go far.
Yeah.
everything you got.
Come on. Go.
Run.
It's wide open.
That didn't even look like me. Sorry. You did good.
Y'all, that is absolutely beautiful. Childbirth is amazing. If you ever get to witness childbirth, you realize how awesome the body is, how really unique we are made and created to be able to give birth. And just to watch a young couple bring a baby into the world is, to me, just absolutely beautiful. All right, let's move on to the next story. Oklahoma. Oh, my Lord. Child, I don't know what's going on in Oklahoma. We're going to invoke this copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Let's get right on over here into it. I think I'm going to have to... Yeah. Let's see. Let's talk about the Texas laws before we get into the Oklahoma stuff. On this beautiful day of September the 1st, this link will take you to a list of Texas legislature online showing information for bills that are effective on September 1 of 2025. House Bill number 2 relating to public education and public school financing. You need to read this. If you have children in school, you definitely need to read that. House Bill 120 relating to college, career, and military readiness in public school, including career and technology education programs. The financial aid for Swift Transfer, which is the FAST program. The Rural Pathway Excellence Partnership, our PrEP program, funding for those programs under the Foundation School Program, and workforce reporting to support those programs, to the Public School Accountability System, and to the new instructional facility allotment and the permissible use of funding under the Foundation School Program. This act takes effective immediately. These are things they did when they was out there arguing over changing that map. They were working on this stuff as well. All right. House Bill 140 relating to advisory bodies for the Department of Family and Protective Service, that would be CPS, including the creation of Child Protective Investigation Advisory Committee and the abolition of the Family and Protective Service Council. So they're going to create an advisory committee and they're going to get rid of a council that they had. That takes effective today. House Bill 1393 relating to daylight saving time. This act takes effect September 1, 2025, but only if the United States Congress enacts legislation to become law that authorizes the state of Texas to observe daylight savings time year-round. Okay, you hear this from my mouth to Congress's ears. Please fix this. Good morning, Alicia. Please fix this so that we won't have to keep switching our time back and forth, because I'm tired of it. All right. House Bill 1393. Congress, please get on that. Congressmen, Congresswomen, please work on that so we don't have to keep switching our time back and forth. House Bill 2789 relating to the regulation of child welfare, including licensure, community-based care contractors, as we call them in Texas, CBCC, family homes and child care facilities. This act takes effect September 1, 2025, except sections 3 and 4 that take effect in January 1st of 2026. This is important for those people who are foster care. If you have any daycares, licensure, you need to read this House bill. And all you have to do is go to this website. This is Legislative Resource Library of Texas. And it's just use the initial LRL.texas.gov, and it will take you to the House bills, okay? Because you really need to know what you are dealing with. Texas put all this stuff in place when they called for that special session. They signed off on all of this stuff. So we need to be aware of what's going on in our state. House Bill 2844 relating to the regulation of food service establishment, including retail food stores and mobile food vendors, requiring an occupational license, imposing fees, authorizing an administrative penalty. If you have a food truck, if you work at the back of a store and you have food, you sell food at the back of a gas station, wherever your food retail establishment may be, you need to read House Bill 2844 because they try to put some more money on for penalties when they come in and find them flies and stuff in your food. I'm just letting you know, House Bill 2844. You need to go over there and read it. This act actually takes place July 1st, 2026, but the health and safety code part of this act takes place today. And that will probably be the fact that they want to impose some fees on y'all and some penalties. So y'all make sure that y'all go on over there and y'all make sure y'all read what these acts are. House Bill 3250 relating to the regulation of real estate appraisers and appraisal management companies. This is very important because there are a lot of rules that went into place for real estate appraisers and for people who are brokers and so on and so forth. I looked at a property that I was considering buying for rental purposes, and the one thing I noticed on that was that when you are shown a property, you have to sign a contract. That the contract could be 6 months, it could be a year. It just depends on what negotiations you do with the realtor. And this is a state law. They have to do it. If they don't do it, they could be fined $1,000 if they don't get you to sign off. So really pay attention to what they put down, because this affects us as homeowners, as developers. Because they roll whatever happens to the appraisers and to the management companies, they roll that down here to hills to the consumers. Okay. Next, let's see what else is on here that may be important. House Bill 3689 relating to funding of excess losses and operating expenses of the Texas Windstorm Insurance Association, authorizing an assessment, authorizing a surcharge. This takes place today. I will tell you, if you have, if you're looking at homes, let me see if I don't want to go do that. But if you're looking at a home, let's say you go to any, Zillow is probably going to be one that everybody can look at. Zillow, you look at a home and you say, I want to buy this house. You'll notice on there now. In fact, let me just show you. Yeah, we got a little time over here. The only thing else I'm going to do today is chill. Let's just look at a house. And I'm just picking something out of the blue to show you. I'm gonna stop sharing this one for a minute and share this one. This is just a random house in Dallas that I chose, so don't pay no attention. It don't matter. It's not important. It ain't my house. It's just a house I clicked on. If you look down, it tells you here, this is what they're putting on most real estate now. Flood factor, 1 out of 10, so it's minimal. Fire factor, very minimal. But if you notice in certain states and certain cities, it says wind factor is a major climate risk, right? So when you see that, and then you have legislature being placed in city government that is saying that is making, they're putting things in place that is with the funding that's related to the insurance association for windstorms that will affect your insurance. We think our insurance is high now. Your homeowner's insurance is gonna keep going up and up and up, or they're gonna do like they did in California and they stop insuring your property. So please be assured that you are understanding what is going on when it comes down to what they have put in place in the state of Texas. This that went into effect today. I don't know if any other states are doing this, but I know for a fact Texas has over 800 bills that went into effect today. This one I think is interesting because it affects the consumer more than anybody. Relating to the authority of the state of this state to implement a motor vehicle emission inspection and maintenance program. This act takes effect September 1, 2025, except Section 1 takes effect on the 30th day after the date the United States Congress enacts legislation that becomes law that repeals the Federal Clean Act and amends it in a way that the motor vehicle emission inspection and maintenance program is no longer required, or of the adoption of an amendment to the United States Constitution, giving states the authority to prohibit vehicle emission inspections and maintenance programs, or to solely regulate emissions vehicles. If such an act does not occur, Section 1 has no effect. This act takes effect September 1. And then it goes on to some more stuff about the clean air. When I tell you that is important, because they passed a bill where we didn't have to have our vehicles inspected anymore, just did the emissions test, which is where they plug your car up to the thing and crank it up and it runs and tells me if you're blowing out too much CO2 or whatever. And so they put some more stuff in place. Read it because you need to know what's going on. This one sounds really interesting. I don't live in Montgomery County, but there are people that do live in Montgomery County. Related to the creation of the Montgomery County Water Control and Improvement District Number 7, granting a limited power of eminent domain, providing authority to issue bonds, providing authority to impose assessment fees and taxes. Baby, eminent domain is only when they come through and take your land. Y'all need to be aware of that. If you live in Montgomery County, Texas, please be aware that they have put legislation in place that this water company has limited power. They can give them full power, limited power to do eminent domain, which means they can come through and say, we need the right of way. We need a whole acre of your property to get a right of way to put some water down. So be aware of that. Trying to see if there's anything else that just catches my eye. But please go and look at these things. A lot of them are they're specific for different counties, but there are a lot of them that they put in place. A lot in place. Here's one. Senate Bill 293 relating to the discipline of judges by the State Commission or judicial conduct. Notice of certain reprimands, judicial compensations, and related retirement benefits, and the reporting of certain judicial transparency information, authorizing an administrative penalty that took place today. So I'm not sure what that means. Relating to special SB 56, Senate Bill 568, relating to special education in public schools, including funding for special education under the Foundation School Program. If you have a child that's in special education, you need to read SB 568. It is important because you may be losing something, which more than likely you are, because they took away a lot of things. SB 1786 is relating to public higher education, which could be our junior colleges. Just a lot of things that they put that I think as people who live here, we definitely need to be looking into. Let me see what you're talking about over here. Good morning, Alicia. Good morning. You got to be kidding me. Good morning, Shayna, Miss AKA. I hope I spoke to everybody. Is that everybody? I hope so. You said Michigan does not have to do inspections. I wish we didn't have to do them here. So they do so they're trying to do away with inspections, but they want us to continue to have emissions tests, which good afternoon, Kashara. Is it still morning here? It's still morning. I got 2 minutes before it's noon. So I'm still saying good morning. I'm gonna milk it till I get all my minutes out of my morning. Good morning, no, Kashara. I hope you had a good resting moments. But yes, they're supposed to be doing away with inspections, but only doing emissions. But here's the kicker. what we were paying for inspections and emissions, they moved it over to your registration for your vehicle. So they're getting their money either way it goes. They're not losing nothing. They're not losing anything. All right. So if you live in the state of Texas or any other state, check and see if your state has had some special session. Check and see what the bills are. Read those bills. See how they affect you, especially if you're a property owner, car owner, a human being, got kids in school. Please check it out. Hey, Living For Me, welcome to the live. Let's see. We talked about Travis Hunter welcoming a new baby. We talked about the state of Texas and the 800 new laws they put into place after their special session. And now let's talk about this young lady in Oklahoma that was 11 years old. I was trying to see if I wrote anything else down. Y'all, I'm about ready to give up this natural. I went working out today, and honey, when I tell you I took the wrap off my head and the whole back of my head was soaking wet with sweat. And I thought it was dry because the outside of the wrap was dry, but it was soaking wet. Y'all, let's read this article together. Let me vote the Section 102. Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. So let's do what we do. Oklahoma. This story is so sad. When I read this, it pulled at my heartstrings. Let's listen to this news report. I guess if I open up the sound and not mute.
6 o'clock, a Muskogee caretaker is now facing several charges after authorities say she failed to report that her 11-year-old neighbor was pregnant. Court documents say an 11-year-old girl gave birth to a child on August 16th at a Muskogee home. The girl's parents told police they did not know she was pregnant, and court documents say they did not give her proper medical care. Now the 11-year-old girl's neighbor is facing 6 counts of child neglect. The documents say she saw the girl almost daily, including before she gave birth. Her parents are in Muskogee County Jail. They also face several charges tonight.
Now, I don't agree with the neighbor being charged.
Labor Day.
I don't agree with the neighbor being charged. Especially since the girl didn't live at home with the neighbor and the neighbor may have just been minding her own business. But let's read this article. Super sad. Muskogee, Oklahoma. It's a caregiver in Muskogee. Oh, she was the caregiver, a caretaker. Oh. See, it's more to this story. This is not even, I haven't read this story. I just pulled up this article this morning. The story I read was about the family, which I'm going to pull that one up as well. A caretaker in Muskogee faces several charges as authorities say she failed to report that an 11-year-old neighbor whom she saw almost daily was pregnant. I wonder what her caretaker responsibilities was. That's kind of weird. Earlier this week, KOCO5 reported that parents in Muskogee was arrested and charged after police learned that an 11-year-old girl had given birth at home in Muskogee. New court documents now say a neighbor has been charged with 6 counts of child neglect for allegedly knowing that the girl was pregnant. The court documents say that the neighbor lived across the street from the 11-year-old girl and was her caretaker. The woman saw the 11-year-old girl almost daily. Oh, if you don't stop repeating 11-year-old girl, including before she gave birth. Court documents state that the woman was also the caretaker for the 5 other children who were younger than 11 at the same home. Police said she failed to report the 11-year-old girl's pregnancy to authorities. Police said the 11-year-old girl was 36 weeks pregnant when she gave birth to the child on August the 16th, according to court documents. The girl's parents told police that they did not know she was pregnant, and court documents stated that they did not provide proper medical care for the child. The parents also said the 11-year-old girl had not been to a doctor in over a year. Online records show that the 34-year-old man was charged with sexual abuse of a child under 12 and 6 counts of child neglect. A 33-year-old woman has been charged with enabling child sexual abuse and 6 count of felony child neglect. The two were arrested and booked into Muskogee County Jail. KOCO has not named any suspects to protect the 11-year-old girl's identity. Oh, but the story gets better. Let me find this other article on this little girl. Let's read this article. Let's talk about anything other than that. Okay. Hey, y'all. I've been moving around, so I can't really see where are the parents. Exactly. The parents now are in jail, but she was living at home with the parents. So the neighbor, I guess, was maybe a babysitter, what it looks like. And so she was charged with 6 counts. Hey, Symmetry. She was charged with 6 counts of child neglect, I guess, for not reporting it. So y'all, if y'all babysitting out here and y'all see something that ain't right, report it. Call somebody. Call everybody. Tell everybody. Call everybody. Lottie and everybody. Trust me. Be safe. Protect yourself. Don't be in the middle of these people's foolishness. Let's get on with this story so y'all can really see what I'm talking about. Oklahoma man charged after 11-year-old girl gives birth at home. DNA test tied man to newborn in case prosecutor calls amongst most serious as woman is also charged. An Oklahoma man is facing charges of child sexual molestation after an 11-year-old girl in his orbit gave birth in her home. And her mother is accused of enabling abuse in a case that a local assistant district attorney called possibly the most serious I've ever prosecuted. The charges that the Muskogee County District Attorney's Office filed against Dustin Walker, 34 years old, on Monday came after a DNA test confirmed that he was the father of the newborn at the center of the case. The Oklahoma news outlet KWTV reported, citing officials. The woman charged alongside Walker, the parent of the newborn's underage mother, is 33 years old. Let me take a deep breath. As in the outlet's policy, the guardian is not identifying her or describing her relationship to Walker to protect the identity of the abused victim in the case. Walker and the woman had initially been arrested on 1 count each of felony child neglect after the 11-year-old gave birth to a full-term baby at her home on August 16th, according to records filed in court and reported on by NBC News. The two adults allegedly claimed they did not know the girl was pregnant, despite the fact that the minor was rather petite and her newborn was of normal size. The local assistant district attorney, Jennifer Hudson, told KWTV. Hudson also said to the station that the abused victim had not been to the doctor in more than a year, preventing physicians or nurses who may have encountered her from detecting her pregnancy and being required to report it. According to Hudson's remarks to KWTV, the 11-year-old either was not in school or may have been homeschooled, further ensuring the pregnancy went unnoticed. After a DNA test established he was the newborn father, Walker on Monday was met with additional count accusing him of sexually abusing the 11-year-old girl beginning in January, resulting in her giving birth, as the court reported on NBC note. Let me start over. As the court records reported on by NBC noted. Authorities, meanwhile, tacked on an enabling child sexual abuse count against the 11-year-old's mother. The child is traumatized, Hudson said to KWTV of the abused victim. She's been through a horrific ordeal. Not only has somebody gotten her pregnant, but she gave birth at home without medical assistance. And this will be her life for the rest of her life. Walker and the 33-year-old woman are also accused of neglecting 5 other children in their care since at least January. NBC also reported attributing the information to court records. The network said those other children were between the ages of 2 and 9. The 11-year-old's mother and Walker have been in jail in lieu of a $100,000 bail, KWTV reported. Hudson reportedly said that Walker and the 11-year-old's mother, who are tentatively due in court in September, could receive up to life imprisonment if convicted as accused. In the statement reported by NBC, Hudson said, "This is one of the most, if not the most, serious child sexual abuse and neglect cases I've ever prosecuted." My Lord, that was a lot. That was a lot. Turns out, they said this stuff makes me so angry. Some people don't deserve children. They just don't. Okay, I got to get back to it. I know that's right, baby. You sure are, baby. Working at night is for the birds. I did it for a year, and I was like, somebody else got to take this nursing ship. I need another job. Yes, symmetry. Lord have mercy is right. It's some sick people in this world. So it turns out to be this little girl, 11 years old. Apparently was in a home. There was 5 children, ranges in ages of 2 to 11. She was the oldest. And her mother apparently was married to this gentleman. He's not even a gentleman. This monster who impregnated this child. I hope he gets life in prison. Take the mama with you. And the mama's pregnant. And add that to it. The mother is also pregnant. There are a few live streams about this on TikTok and YouTube. People are talking about it. I'm going to follow the case because I think it's that serious. It's very, very sad. It's disheartening to know that people are out here abusing children. Children. 11 years old. There's not much she can do. I have a 12-year-old granddaughter. Still help her sometimes get dressed in the morning. Remind her to brush her teeth. Remind her to comb her hair. Let me comb your hair. 11 years old, I definitely was combing her hair. Her mama was combing her hair. So it's just, I don't know. Let's move on from that. That kind of floored my heart because I didn't know about the neighbor. It's a little bit more intricate details than I really wanted to know about. I just kind of glossed over it, knew that the stepdad had done what he had done, but to know the little details kind of makes it hard. All right, y'all, let's move on to what I actually put in the title. The dead donor rule. I don't know how many of you are aware of what they consider the dead donor rule, but I want to just go through what it is so that some of you may be aware of what the dead donor rule is. And it's something that we use in the medical profession a lot, especially in the hospital setting. Not so much in outpatient or ambulatory care, but in the hospital setting, the dead donor rule is used. And it is related to the harvesting of organs after death. And let's just talk about it. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's just talk about what it actually is. The dead donor rule is not a bill, is not anything written in the federal government. It's something that's just raised and done through JCO in most hospitals that harvest into organs after someone has passed away. So pretty much that's all it is. It just talks about what it is. Yeah, this gives you some case studies. This is New England Journal of Medicine, something that nurses and doctors read that kind of gives us case scenarios. It gives us case studies, which is we try to do most of our nursing on and actual medical care on evidence-based practices. So this is kind of some of the things that we use for evidence-based practice. Let me move over to the next part that I wanted to share, which is what it actually is. The dead donor rule lies at the heart of the current organ procurement policy. And I'm not sure if this is for a hospital in one port. No, this is for the National Library of Medicine. This comes off of a government website. Okay, this is actually pmc.ncbi.nlm .nih.gov. Okay, so this is just one of the government articles that I pulled up about the dead donor rule. The dead donor rule, DDR, lies at the heart of current organ procurement policy. It is not a legal statute, so it's not a bill, it's not a federal mandate. Rather, it reflects the widely held belief that it is wrong to smeal someone, one person, to save the life of another. On those grounds, an organ donor must already be said before vital organs are removed. Okay, so it's an ethical practice that is practiced across all lines of nursing, medicine, period. That's all that is. But let's talk about what. Now, I don't really care for Robert Kennedy. I don't think he's the smartest guy in the world. I think he's smoked a lot of weed and his voice trembles real bad and it's hard to understand him. But I think what he uncovered in earlier this year in July, I believe was when they uncovered it, but it's just now making a forefront. You know, the thing is they uncover things, they buried in documents and you have to go looking for them. And so in my looking for things, I ran across this and I thought it was super interesting. And we needed to be aware of this, right? I don't know how many of you guys have donor on the back of your driver's license. I think I took off the wrong thing. Let me go back and get it. Hold on a second. There we go. I was trying to clean up and tell your mommy I said hello and tell her congratulations. I was trying to clean up my things that I had on here, so I started deleting things and deleted the wrong thing. But as you know, Robert Kennedy is over the Department of Health and Human Services for our government, for our country. And he did some findings. They released some findings about the DDR that I thought was super interesting. Health and Human Services. So this website is just the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. And it just talks about that they found systematic disregard for sanctity of life in organ transplant system. And this was released July the 21st of 2025. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, under the leadership of Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., today announced a major initiative to begin reforming the organ transplant system following an investigation by its Health Resource and Service Administration that revealed disturbing practices by a major organ procurement organization. I won't say where I work, but one of the things I just had to, every year we have to refresh ourselves on continuing education hours. And one of the things that I just did last week was a refreshment on organ procurement policy. And the policies are pretty strict, right? You have to do this and you have to do this. So once it happens, you got to make sure you do this. This person has to come in and do this. And this person is responsible for this. This person gets the family to sign. And then we have to keep, I received a cornea from a donor in May. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh my goodness. Wow, that's good, Miss AK. A lot of people have used services that have come through donors. And oh my goodness, this is amazing. I have a family member who received a kidney that was donated to her. So definitely understand those things. And proud of anybody who donates I in particular have asked that my children not put donor on the back of their card, on the back of their driver's license. I believe if you want to donate, you should tell your family. And once life has ceased, your family can make it known before anything else goes along. You know what I'm saying? When they start telling you if they're on life support, there's this, and this, then the family can say, you know, they're what the wishes of that person. But don't put it on the back of your driver's license. That's just me in particular, what I think you should do. Okay. So back to the story that he was saying. Our findings show that hospitals allowed the organ procurement process to begin when patients showed signs of life. And this is horrifying. If this indeed is true, this is horrifying. This is horrifying. There should be no organs being procured out of a body that is still has a brainwaves, it can feel, right? So these are things that Kennedy found when they did their investigation. This may have been something that was already found but had not been acted upon or had not been brought to the forefront. But I'm bringing it to you guys so you guys can see it. The organ procurement organizations that coordinate access to transplant will be held accountable, and they should be. The entire system must be fixed to ensure that every potential donor's life is treated with the sanctity it deserves. And I totally agree. HRSA directed the Organ Procurement and Transplantation Network, OPTN, to reopen a disturbing case involving potentially preventable harm to a neurologically injured patient by the federally funded Organ Procurement Organization, OPO. That's the big boy. Serving Kentucky, Southwest Ohio, and part of West Virginia under the Biden administration. The OPTN's Membership and Professional Standards Committee closed the same case without action. I totally agree that actions should be done because I don't know what it feels like because I have not passed on to the other side. But we do know with brain activity and neurological connections that there is a lot of discomfort when you start procuring, which is the removal process of organs. So this is something I want you guys to be aware of. I want you guys to look into it. It says under Secretary Kennedy's leadership, HRSA demanded a thorough independent review of OPO's conduct and the treatment of vulnerable patients under its care, because every patient that OPO has is vulnerable because at that point they're considered not living. Okay. HRSA independent investigation revealed clear negligence after the previous OPTM board of directors claimed to find no major concerns in their internal review. HRSA examined 351 cases where donation was authorized, but ultimately not completed. It found that 103 cases, which is 29.3%, show concerning features, including 73 patients with neurological signs incompatible with organ donation, and at least 28 patients may not have been deceased at the time organ procurement was initiated, raising serious ethical and legal questions. Evidence point to poor neurological assessments, lack of coordination and medical teams, questionable consent practices, and misclassifications of causes of death, particularly in overdose cases. Y'all saw that last part. Particularly in overdose cases. Vulnerabilities were highest in small and rural hospitals, indicating systematic gaps in oversight and accountability. In response to these findings, HRSA has mandated strict corrective actions for the OPO and the system level changes to safeguard potential organ donors nationally. The OPO must conduct a full root cause analysis of its failure to follow internal protocols, including noncompliance with the 5-minute observation rule after the patient's SMIC. Okay, so that is one that all of them pretty much deal with, is that there's a 5-minute rule, right? And if they are not doing the 5-minute rule, you're doing your patient a total disservice. And then, of course, people with overdoses, I hate to say it, but they're not treated with the most dignity anyway. So, of course, he's a donor. Get on back there, procurement. Get that kidney, get that lung, get that heart. Not saying that's what happens all the time, but be careful. Make sure your family knows your wishes. Get that donor stuff off the back of your driver's license. That's just my take on that. Where we're at the 5-minute rule. And develop clear enforceable policies to define donor eligibility criteria. Additionally, it must adopt a formal procedure allowing any staff member to halt a donation process if the patient safety concerns arise. And that should be across the board, period. It shouldn't be just go ahead with it. You should stop until you make sure that everything is what it's supposed to be and you've done all the checks and balances. Secretary Kennedy will decertify the OPM if it fails to comply with these corrective action requirements, and it gives the PDF of what they want them to do. So, you guys, I'm not going to finish it. We're almost at the end. I might as well finish reading it. HRS also took action to make sure that patients across the country will be safer when donating organs by directing the OPTN to improve safeguards and monitoring at the national level. Under HRSA's directive, data about any safety-related stoppages of organ donation called by the families, hospitals, or OPO staff must be reported to regulators, and the OPTN must update policies to strengthen organ procurement safety and provide accurate and complete information about the donation process to families and hospitals. So the families, you have the authority to stop it. I don't want it. No, we ain't doing it. These findings from HHS confirm that the Trump administration has long warned enriched bureaucracies, outdated systems, and reckless disregard for human life have failed to protect our most vulnerable citizens. Under Secretary Kennedy's leadership, blah, blah, blah. Anywho, I think the most important thing is that we understand that organ donation is good. It is good. But we need to make sure that we're letting our wishes be known to our family, and we're not just putting on the back of a card. And when our family gets to us, they've already started procuring your organs. So please take those extra steps. Research if you want to be an organ donor, which I encourage. Take those steps that you need to take to find out about organ donation. What goes on? What happens? I have a patient that donated his body to science. I didn't know anything about that. So this was when I first got out of nursing school. So I took the steps to research to find out what they did with them. What they take them to a school and they use them as, cadavers. And when he passed away, I had to call the school, and it was a really easy process because the school had everything in place. But I will tell you this, you need to research anything that you plan on doing after life. If you want to be a tree, research it so you can be a tree. If you want to be an elephant, whatever you want to, research it before you go do it. Because they do make people trees or whatever. That's why I say if you want to be a tree. But if you want to donate your organs, make sure you take those steps. You research. Again, I don't recommend anybody putting on the back of their driver's license. I recommend you making a living will, letting your family know, and then making a will with advance directives of what you want to take place in the event that you can no longer make those decisions for yourself. Okay. Advance directives. I know sometimes it's hard to talk about the important things, but advance directives are important. If you are going to have surgery, do an advance directive, do a living will. Okay. If you're going to have surgery, do those things because you need them in place. They need to know, who do I talk to? You got 20 kids. They can't talk to all 20 of them. They need one person they can get an answer from in the nick of time. So make sure you have those things in place. You can Google advanced directives online, and you can actually fill them out, just have them notarized and have them on file with your physician's office or hospital. When you go to the hospital, take it with you. They'll put it on file, especially if you go to one hospital. Whenever you go visit a hospital, have it put on file, but make sure that you have those things in place. Living will, advanced directive. If you have any questions, if I can't answer them, I will direct you to somebody who can, but I will try my best to answer them. That's all I have for you today. I have enjoyed this. Miss AKA says she researched this. Really? Child. When I started looking at that this morning, I just was like, oh my God. My daughter told me, I guess when she her first year in college, she said, Mom, I think I'm going to donate my organs. And I was like, what? Why would you do that? And she said, I was researching about it, and she's serious. And so we had a long conversation. I told her the exact same thing I just told everybody else, is that, make sure that you've looked into it and that it's something that you want to do. And I don't recommend you put it on the back of your driver's license, because on the back of your driver's license, your family may not be there when they just start taking you apart. I have a friend who actually was my oldest sister's best friend, passed away earlier this year, and her family donated her organs. And I think they did it for a lot of reasons. It was beautiful. It wasn't anything. Of course, losing her was sad, but the fact they gave her a walk of honor as she was going to procurement. They kept her. You have to keep the body temperature at a certain thing. A lot of times when you see people doing a walk of honor and they're still connected to machines, it's because they are going to procurement. And yeah. She passed away like on a Monday, and it was Wednesday before they did the procurement. So her son was able to spend a lot of time with her. He asked that we all come, stand on the walls and watch it. So it's a very beautiful thing to donate your organs. But I also think we need to make sure that we have done the research before we do so. But I think that was something his mama made. That was her decision. She did it. And she let him know what her decision was. Anywho, anybody got any questions? Anything you want to talk about that I didn't talk about? All right, you guys. Thanks for joining the live. Please like, share this page. I am almost at 100. And I don't know. I think I had 98 this morning. I had 99, and then all of a sudden I had 98 again. So I don't know what happened with that. But I appreciate you have yours on feral at each other. And that's what it should be. That's the way it should be. My mother did, with my help, an advanced directive with the living will, and we put them on file at her hospitals, on file at her house, and then we did a DNR before she passed, and that was one of the things I wanted to make sure everybody had a copy. When you have a doctor, my mom's doctor was so loving, so kind. When she passed on, I called her and I was like, oh, Mom died. And she called me, and I was, of course, a wreck, but just the encouragement that the doctor, my mom's doctor, gave to me. She's like, I'm going to miss seeing you every 3 months. And I miss seeing her. Sometimes I go by the doctor's office. I was like, oh, I had to stop and just say hi to her. But if you need to develop those relationships with your doctor. If you don't have a doctor that you trust or that you like, switch doctors. It's that simple. You should be able to trust your physician. If you cannot trust your physician, find one you can trust. I kept moving. I had this doctor, and I called her a quack. Lord forgive me, but that's what I called her, a quack. I found me another doctor, and I liked her. Let's see. After I left that one, I liked her. She retired. And after she retired, I went to someone in her office, and I didn't like them. They were from Portugal. They didn't really understand me. Things just did not connect. And I met up with this young African-American doctor and fell in love with her. When I walked in her office, she said, what are your goals for you? Because I want you to set the goals and we're going to meet them. And when I tell you, I said, I want to do this, this, and this, she wrote it all down. And she has worked on helping me achieve every goal. When I go in, she was like, you still losing weight? You still because we want to get our blood pressure pill. So what are we doing with that? So when I tell you, I really enjoy having the physician I have. If I can send her an email right now and say, I think I need to go see Jobo Blue. And she'd be like, well, let's go see him. What's the problem? I put in the referral, going over there and see him. So I think those are things you need to be able to do. Be comfortable with your physician. If you're not comfortable with your physician, change physicians. Go when they tell you to go. Do your lab work and build up that relationship. You know, people say, oh, I have a doctor, but the doctor to patient relationship is only established when you go and when you go in to see that physician. That is when that relationship is established. You say you're looking for a new doctor now, and you know what? Look for one. Look at their reviews. They have I forgot the name of the website. There's a website that actually just reviews doctors, just like Rate My Professor. They have one for doctors. Look at it in the city you're living in and find you a doctor that you trust, that you want to be your physician, and choose them. Go see them. If you don't like them, fire them, find somebody else. Trust me, I'm not going to stay here and you not listening to what I'm saying and you want to argue. I'm not arguing with you. I'm not arguing with you, ma'am. I told you my head hurt. You don't believe my head hurt? Well, let me go find somebody who believes that my head is hurting, because my head is hurting. I'm not saying this. What I do. But I'm saying, if someone does not believe you and you know for a fact something is going on with you, don't stop. Keep going. Keep going until you get the answers you need. My primary doctor is Black. He listens and cares. Plus, he's my whole name. That's good. That's good. My doctor actually cares. I can honestly say she cares. I've seen her. I've been seeing her assistant recently. And child, when I wrote a whole email, this lady ain't what the Lord want for me, and she Black too. So, baby, no ma'am. She's not what she forgets everything we talked about. Then when I go in, she was like, "Oh, I forgot to," and I have to send her messages. This other doctor, remember we spoke about X, Y, and Z. I don't see it. I didn't get the referral, and oh, I'm sorry, my back was hurting a little bit ago, and I sent her a message. My back is hurting. Can you order me an X-ray? I just want to see what's going on in my back. And she says, okay, order the X-ray. Never heard about the results. So I sent her an email. Did you have a chance to look at those results by chance? And she was, oh, I'm sorry. 2 weeks later, I'm sorry. I thought we had discussed it. With who? I've been in your office. Normally you send me a message telling me what the results are. Girl. No, ma'am. Yes, I'm always looking at the reviews. I'm not happy with the one I have. So I'm keep looking until you find one that's satisfied. Keep looking until you find one that you're satisfied with, that meets your needs, that answers your questions, because you're important. Remember, you're paying them. It's not the other way around. They get money for you being in the office, not you, them coming to you and you get money. They get money from you. So, no, ma'am, you need to do what I need to do. Yes, it's called health grade. Thank you, Miss AKA. It's called health grade. Just like Rate My Professor, health grade rates the doctors. And look at the reviews. Read through the reviews. Child, they ain't right. But when I tell you, when I go through that, it's a scratch out. Okay, because I write down doctors who are in my network that I want to see. I'm the same way with dentists. If it's a dentist in my network that or out of my network and they may be more expensive, I'll go see them if their care is good. I've had the same dentist for 20-something years and they give me excellent care. I stick with you if you're good. Now, my old doctor done left and went over here to this hospital to be an internist and left me with this other lady. I don't know if I'm going to stick with this lady. I've been with her. I think this is a year. But child, you can't follow up on an X-ray just to tell me that I have a little arthritis. Osteoarthritis in your back. That could have been a quick email. Take a little aspirin and go to bed. I mean, something like that. But you didn't even bother to do that. Child. And the thing is, as long as I've been nursing, I'm sure part of that is from lifting and pulling when we didn't have lifts like they have now. So, yeah. You're welcome. You got to be kidding me. You guys have a great day. I am going to go, since I worked out, I haven't had anything to eat today. I'm just go downstairs and fix me a nice, nutritious meal. I joined Weight Watchers. My goal is to lose some weight. In fact, all of the girls in our family, we have a group me, and we're all trying to be healthy because life is short. you might as well be able to walk around and do it and enjoy it, at least be healthy while you're doing it. So I'm gonna play the song I played as I was coming in. I'm gonna play it as I go out. This is the first lady in my church. I love her dearly. She's a sweetheart. Y'all have a great day. Oh, not that one, honey. Don't tell me I deleted it too. No, here it goes.
Last night, he's the living proof.
God keeps his promises.
My God keeps promises.
I love you, and there ain't a thing you can do about it. Bye-bye. You say you need to lose 15 pounds. Do you really? Girl, I need to lose more than 15, and I'm going to do it. Y'all take care and have a great day.